Hey BookTube, it's Greg from Coffee/Books. Sorry I've been MIA once again. I'm traveling for work. I thought my 3-week business trip was actually going to be quiet and I would have a lot of time to read, make videos, and kind of catch up on this. But it turned out to be a very different situation when I got here, so I haven't had as much time as I would have liked. But I have done some reading, which I would like to share with you. First up, I read Sergei Dovlatov's Pushkin Hills. If you don't know who Sergei Dovlatov is, he is like a later Soviet writer. There was kind of like a resurgence of his writing, including The Suitcase, I think this year, because there was a German film or documentary or something that came out about him. So when I went to the bookstore in the English section, they had a lot of Dovlatov work on display this year. So I read that. It was very good. I actually am not a fan of Pushkin in any language. But what it is, it's about a failed writer towards the end of the Soviet Union, the end of the Soviet days. He gets a job at the estate where I guess Pushkin lived or worked a lot or whatever, giving tours. So it's about his experience with that and kind of the falling apart of the Soviet lifestyle in the 80s. So, and it's not a long read. It has a lot of good notes to explain things that people might not be familiar with in terms of like Soviet or Russian history, so I found that helpful. I would definitely read The Suitcase before I read this. I thought The Suitcase was better. Also, I just finished reading Kurt Vonnegut's Timequake. I think Kurt Vonnegut is probably my all-time favorite writer. It's been a while since I read Timequake, and I was happy to see it here. And I picked it up, and I read it cover to cover. I just loved it so much. If you've never read anything by Kurt Vonnegut, I would not read this first because he makes a lot of references to his other works, and also his writing style is kind of, you'll recognize things in this book that you would from his other stories. So start with a classic like Slaughterhouse-Five maybe. Also, I went to the movie theater here, and I saw the new installation of the Gogol movie, which was awesome. It's in Russian, but I recommend it, at least for the cinematography. So it inspired me to start reading more Gogol, which I've read before years ago in Russian, but I got an English copy at the bookstore here, which is fairly cheap. So I've been reading some short stories, so gotta love your Gogol. And after I leave my business trip, I'm taking a road trip around Europe for 2 weeks. So when I saw this, I was inspired. It's Jack Kerouac's On the Road. Kerouac. And I honestly, the cover is what got me. I've tried to read his stuff before, I just never got into it. But when I saw this cover, I think it's a British publication. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I know it's about like kind of road tripping across America, and even though I'm not road tripping through America right now, I think maybe it'll still give me like that inspiration to read during my trip. So that's what's going on with me. Yeah, I just wanted to film a video because I haven't done it in a long time. I miss watching a lot of you guys, so hopefully I can catch up on that. I'll link my Instagram below because Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me. Especially, I love seeing what you guys are reading when you post on Instagram stories. And I also always post when I'm reading, usually, what? I just lost my train of thought in English. I always post when I'm reading on Instagram stories. So, that being said, I hope you're all having a good day wherever you are, and talk to you soon. Bye.